Hey ladies, this is Underwired. Welcome to the show designed to uplift and support women all over the world.
Hey, I'm Lindsay. They call me the kindness kahuna and the imaginal connector. I love puppies, travel, great coffee, and all of you out there who love humanity.
I'm Betsy Wiersma, a serial entrepreneur and lover of doing good and having fun. My passion is connecting hearts and souls with art, ideas, and adventures.
Hey, I'm Shay Sparks. As an energetic catalyst and fearless communicator, I love to have great conversations with amazing people.
And I'm Sunny, mom of 4, here to shed light on what really matters. Together, we're Underwired. And now for the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful day of Underwired. I'm here, Lindsay Andriotti, with Sunny Galt, Betsy Wiersma, and Shay Sparks. Whoop, whoop. So, ladies, I am so excited that it is the Monday after the superb owl, otherwise known as the Super Bowl.
Very
Superb
wise owl. It's a very wise owl.
Owl,
Yes.
very wise owl. We know these things. Okay.
Totally lost. Yeah.
So,
all right, go ahead.
You just have to spell it wrong on your autocorrect, Betsy, and it'll make sense. Okay.
Okay.
So what we're going to do to kick off this episode is let's talk about what we did yesterday. And I think I'm going to turn it right over to Miss Kansas City herself, Shay Sparks.
Woo, 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 woo. Woo, woo, woo. They won. I'm so excited. It was, first of all, being in Kansas City, you automatically become a Chiefs fan just by living there. It is everywhere. It's contagious. And when they're winning, like everyone is in a good mood. It really is incredible to see how just cheering for one team allows you to be friends with strangers, allows any differences that you might have had, even if it was political or race or religion or whatever else differences, goes away. So nice. I love the Super Bowl. And of course, I went to a big party here in Florida where they have an entire bar dedicated to the Chiefs. Talk about having found family. It was amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Just like podcasters, you meet them and it's like immediately best friends. So yeah, great time and great job to both teams, because it was pretty an amazing game, especially when two brothers were playing for the first time in the Super Bowl. So bravo, hats off, bravo to everyone.
Nice. Woo! Yeah. That's
yeah,
so good. Well. Yay, Chiefs. Woo woo. So, Sunny, what were you doing on Superb Owl Sunday?
Yeah, so my perspective of the Super Bowl is a little different. Don't hate me, people. Don't hate me, please, please, please. Yeah, I grew up in a house that didn't really care about football all that much. We did like my parents. We would do a movie marathon on Super Bowl Sunday. Like we would go to the movie theater and watch 3 to 4 back-to-back movies. Yeah, that's what we did. Because that's everyone else is doing Super Bowl stuff. So if you're not like a big Super Bowl person, you kind of feel a little left out. So what did I do yesterday morning? Well, I got up early and went grocery shopping with my husband. and then actually some people in my house aren't feeling very good. So I kind of played nurse yesterday and then even a little bit into today. So I used to watch the halftime performances until they started getting really weird. And then I started learning more about the artists that do the halftime performances. So you guys know, like I do news stuff, right? So I know a lot of background about a lot of this and what happens like in big cities when a lot of people get together. There's some gnarly things that go on. So I have a completely different perspective of the Super Bowl, and Shay, I'm so glad you had a wonderful time. And I do love that people can get together and forget about our worries and, I stand for this and I stand for that. And we need more opportunities for us to come together and just have a good time. So I'm so glad that people can do that. I'm just kind of anti the establishment behind it, if you will, and some of the negative stuff that happens in the community because of it. But for everyone that had a great time, and yay if your team won. And what was the other team playing? The Eagles?
The Eagles. They haven't been there in like forever.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
that was cool.
So
nice.
Okay.
That's totally awesome. Okay, Betsy, and what were you doing yesterday?
I bought a bed on Costco.com. And I bought some linens and had them delivered with a rug to Lindsay's house.
Wait. Can we back up? Because
Yeah.
did you get a chance to test the bed? This is a whole other
Okay, so
conversation.
here's the thing. We went and tested the mattresses and bought the mattresses
Yes.
separately.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we
Okay.
bought a bed frame, I should clarify. So while the
Okay,
world was
okay.
cheering for sports teams,
You're
I
like,
was
sleep.
trying to determine what would be the cutest bed coverings for my new house in New Smyrna, Florida, between Shay and Lindsay. And and because Sunny will be a guest at my house, I wanted to be sure it would be super cute for Sunny to visit. So I really had to discern the cutest bedroom set for the guest room for Sunny. But I bought a mattress on Costco.com. And while the world was doing that, but there's a big anomaly that I do want to say, that my husband, who is Jewish and has been interested lately in watching The Chosen with many of us, he called me and he said, "Oh, you've got to see these ads." And he sent me all the ads about Jesus. He gets us, this campaign. And somebody spent $1 billion on ads for Jesus, which he knew was something I'm very passionate about. And my Jewish husband spent an hour showing me every single video and every single ad from Super Bowl. And I was like, this is so fun. Okay, honey, I'm glad you're excited. And the other great ad he showed me, which was the Breaking Bad ad, where we always loved Breaking Bad, and they brought back the two main characters and did a snack food ad with the guys like they were cooking meth in the camper. And they brought the actual characters back. So we love Breaking Bad. So that was fun. So I didn't have to suffer. Watch the Super Bowl while you world people could. And then I still got to see the best ads, and my husband watched the Jesus ads. So yeah, peace out.
Betsy,
bed
oh my gosh. I love you, Betsy. On one hand, you're like, yay, Jesus. On the other hand, you're like, making methamphetamine. It's fantastic. I love both.
Cooking meth. It was an ad with our favorite show about cooking meth. Yeah. Everything peacefully coexists. That's just how the world works. That's why we have diversity. Really. We have diversity on this podcast, what I'm saying. Okay, Lindsay, what did you do on Super Bowl, whatever you called it, Owl? Super Owl Bowl.
First of all, I need to help Betsy understand that super with a B on the end of it is superb.
Got it.
Owl. There you go. For those who are not,
took me a while.
Yeah, it's a millennial thing. Sorry, I have 2 millennial children. They were having a superb owl party.
Okay.
And this is what they do. So anyway, I really just lounged. I took care of myself. I didn't do much. I hung out. I read. I watched good TV. I hung out with friends, and I put toilet paper at Betsy's new house. Really, it was that simple. And what was super fun for me was having a day to myself that wasn't all embroiled in a lot of activity. And it would have been my style to be right there with Shay, whooping it up with the whole, crazies. Yeah. And I just said, no, today I'm just going to be at home with my poodle and hang out. So it was a great Sunday. I just loved it.
Micro dog is happy about that.
Yes.
Micro dog is
happy. So awesome. Well, I'm going to kick off today's show with the B segment today. And I hope you girls are ready for some fun, because I wanted to talk about bubbles. And I'm going to make some bubbles right here on the screen. I don't know if it's going to show up.
Oh, it's showing up.
There it is. They're tiny. Are those tiny
bubbles? There we go. That looks like you got that in a Disney park.
I did.
It's a bubble machine butterfly
flying everywhere. But here's why I wanted to pick bubbles today. I really think we have to remember that we are also little girls sometimes. And there's a 7-year-old in each one of us that needs to have fun. And the style of fun can be very different. And I want you to think back to when you were 7, and I'm going to come to you in just a minute, and just think about what was really fun for you. And I remember literally loving bubbles. I would draw bubbles. I would blow bubbles. I would go outside with my brother and we do those big bubbles.
Monster bubble.
The monster bubbles. And I think that bubbles just remind you to go and have fun and be that little kid once in a while. You don't have to be heavy, deep, and real your whole life, right?
Yeah.
So today is just a reminder to go have some fun and be bubbles. So what did you want, or what kind of fun was your fun, Sunny, when you were 7?
When I was 7, I roller skated all the time.
Ooh.
Like, and I don't even know how many roller skating rinks.
Roller skating rinks.
That is a totally
Suburb owl. Suburb owl. Roller skinks.
Yeah.
Roller skinks.
That's a different show for another time.
Yeah.
Late night.
We'll be back with roller skinks.
Yeah. I love it.
Roller skating rinks are even in existence. But let's see, what was it for? Oh, you know what? It was New Year's Eve day. Okay. I think there was a mom of one of my kids, not of my kids, friend of one of my kids, reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you guys like to go roller skating with us?" I was like, "Oh my God," like the flood of like emotions, like I would just took me back, 7, 8, 9 years old, right? And there is a roller skating rink that's closer to San Diego, so I'm a little bit further north. So it's like a 30-minute drive. But we went, and it's kind of like riding a bike. In the beginning, you're like Bambi on ice, right? But then, oh my God, it was crowded, you guys. There were so many people. And I never realized what a fantastic leg workout that is.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're 7 or 8,
you don't know.
No, you don't know. And now I've got plenty of pounds to add to my frame that will help me, burn more stuff off when I do my little roller skating stuff. Anyways, I just had a blast, and it just took me back to that, that time, that exact time that you're talking about. So
Right.
I would say roller skating, although I do love bubbles too. And having 9-year-old girls, for their last birthday, we got a bubble machine. They really
Oh,
we were doing like an underwater thing.
Let's get a bubble machine in August at the podcast convention.
Well, I'll just bring mine. I'll bring my bubble.
Bring it. I'll bring my bubble
so
maker.
fun. We will have a bubbly, and we'll serve bubbly. Yeah,
They're bubbly with a bubble machine.
We just got our event, and we're gonna drive around town in
Bubbles and babes. How about
Bubbles.
that?
Bubbles and babes.
I
Yeah.
like this a lot.
Okay,
I'm all
sorry,
for
we
it.
digress. We got off on a planning.
All right.
mission.
Well, Betsy, how about you? You digress. So go. What did
Okay.
you like to do?
Okay, well, I did skate a lot, like Sunny when
Did
I was
you?
young, but I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to talk about what we learned at Camp Experience years ago called your opulent bubble. And I always remember this because that means you get to put a bubble, different than the little ones that just evaporated. You get to put a bubble around yourself, in that you get to shield yourself from outside forces that are not good for you. So we would talk about when you walk in a room and there's angst and mean people and I would call it, going on, you can stay in your opulent bubble of your own self. So we would say, put on a bubble, and it would be like a protection, a clear protection, so people could see you, but you don't need to take their stuff. So I always, when I think of bubbles in a different way, for those of you listening, I think about the ability we have to ensure our energy zone and our own self is protected. And I think of that as my opulent bubble.
Kind of like
Nice.
wearing bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Just bubble wrap. I mean, this is another conversation.
Oh, here we
too.
go.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, you know, there's other
Tonight
things.
on Just Bubble Wrap, we're interviewing Shay Sparks after her family meeting at Super Bowl Owl.
If you
Superb
come
owl.
to
Superb owl.
podcast movement wrapped in bubble wrap shade, that really will be babes in bubbles.
That
right
is
there.
Yes.
marketing. That is marketing, Shay. Okay, I'm turning it over to Shay
Yeah,
because
to
if
Shay.
she's wrapping herself in bubble wrap, I am way different on this show today. Go ahead, Shay.
Well, one of my favorite things is actually to pop bubble wrap, but that's an adult
love it
thing, not a
too.
child thing. It's so like
It's relaxing.
gratifying to
Yes.
like pop it all. Yes. So that's a whole nother thing. So like Betsy says, I digress. So I think I love the thing about what you brought up about bubbles. My godson, when he was 3 years old, had a birthday party, and he gave all the adults bubbles. not the kids to take home, the adults. So they would remind them to be a kid, then bring out that kid and play. And I thought that was such a cute idea. But for me, when I was about 7 years old, I did a couple of things. I grew up on a farm in the middle of the Midwest, and I played outside. I don't know about you all, but I did not have street lights, and I did not have a, come back in when the street lights come on. I just went outside and roamed around. So I would make up songs, I would dance and sing, and I had imaginary friends, and one of them was Jesus. I would take him out of my pocket and play with him, is what I would say, because I would talk to him all the time. But hey, it worked. And I also had a swing set that had like the monkey bars and all of that.
Yes.
And I had taken a tomato, I'm not quite sure, tomato trellis from our garden, and I had put it to where I could step up on it and use it like a springboard and jump onto the monkey bars and hang there and go over them, and did my own little obstacle course. And that's how I entertained myself on the farm in the middle of nowhere, because I was the only girl.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. See, and you guys, I just want you to know that you're the biggest 5-year-olds I've ever met. I love hanging out with all of you because you're so young at heart. And that's what the bubbles reflected for me today was, how do you just stay young at heart? And by the way, B is also for birthday. And our beautiful Sunny Galt has a special birthday today. She's wearing the birthday hat.
She's not just wearing her birthday suit, because after the Shay incident with the bubble wrap, thank God Sunny put his clothes on.
So I get to turn it over to the birthday girl. Happy birthday, Sunny. And it's your turn with the R segment. Yay!
Thank you. Okay, so the R segment today is actually related to my birthday. I was trying to come up with an R word, and I wanted to talk about, birthdays in general today. And I came up with ring. Now, I'm not talking like put a ring on it. I'm talking like phone ring. Okay. Ooh. So how this is related is I'm going to share with you something I do on my birthday every year. And I actually already did it today. And that is, I call my mom no matter where she is on my birth minute. So I was born at 11:02 Eastern time, because I was born in Ohio. So I go with Eastern time. And we've had some really funny things happen over the years, but I make a point to reach out, and it's kind of our thing. And I started this, guys, when I was in high school. I don't know what made me think of it. But I've been doing it. And I think I missed 1 year when I was a new mom, brand new mom, and my head was not in the right place. And I didn't even know what day it was, much less what time it was. But every year, one time my mom was on a cruise, and I somehow was able, I had to get in touch with the right people to get a hold of her. Today wasn't as crazy, but I was in the process of dropping my kids off at school this morning. They had to be there. So I even adjust for the time. So if it's 11:02 Eastern time, then that's 8:02 Pacific time, right? And I've lived in Pacific time for a really long time now. So I was dropping my kids off this morning at school, and I'm looking at the phone, and the kids are taking forever to get out of the car because I dropped them off right about at 8:00 in the morning. And I'm going, guys, hurry. I gotta get out of the car. I gotta call my mom right at 11:02. And so I was able to do it this morning, and I'm going to call her later on because I had to talk to her on my birth minute, but that was not the best time to have a mother-daughter call, right? As I was dropping my kids off for school. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you because it's just something that's special that I do every day. Like I said, I did it earlier today. Now for you guys, I've been, people have been asking me, well, how old are you going to be? Or today, how old are you? And I'm still fine with giving my age. I'm 45. And so, have you guys hit a point, or do you think you will hit a point with your birthday where you share that kind of information? Or are you, do you think it's going to be like, oh, I'm 30 again, or I'm 29 again, or what kind of person are you?
Are you going to start with the oldest person on the call?
Do you want me to? I can't.
Sure. Yeah.
Betsy.
Everybody. Okay. I'm 61. Yeah. and the crowd goes wild.
Yay.
And I still wear my bubble pad. Oh, sorry. That was a different subject. Okay. I'm 61 and I get accused of being younger, which I think it's my vibrant glasses and my cute styles of clothing. And my vibrant personality. No, I'm really proud because I think God made every age with blessings. I love my 60s because I have curated the friends that I love, current people included. I have curated doing what I want to do in the world and making a difference. I have fun all the time. So I love being 61. And I also think by being happy where you are is a really important thing that I believe, no matter what age or what time or what space you're in, enjoying this moment, which I call be here now. So I love being here now at 61, and I really am healthier in my 60s as I think maybe I was in my 20s and 30s because of more exercise and eating better and just mentally and emotionally not being on such a crazy wild thing, just like taking it. So I love being 61, and in April when we do the Betsy birthday, which would be a double B, then we'll do Betsy birthday, and then I'll be 60 and I'll still be happy about it. So yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah, I love that idea of living in the present, and not presents like what you get sometimes on your birthday, but the present. Yeah, I think that's really important, and just enjoying, because you're right. Every stage of life has something beautiful to offer, and it might be different and may look a little different. You may look a little different, but it doesn't mean it can't be beautiful. So
that's why God invented hair color. Ladies.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
do not look too closely at the heart line. Okay,
I know I got to get mine done.
Girls.
I got to get mine done.
Let's go to one of the younger girls because everyone else is.
All right, Shay, what's up? Tell us. Birthday.
So, for those ladies who are listening or watching that are single, I'll talk about the single awareness moment. When you're on a dating app, you have to say your age. And so then that world, I say my age, but most of the time, if people ask me, I ask them, wow, well, do you think I am? And most of the time I am lucky. Thank you, Jesus, for having blessed me with good skincare. They normally say about 10 years younger than what I am. And I just go, sure. Okay.
That works.
That works for me. And I literally had just recently this year, someone who I had said that to, and he was like, so you're about 40 now, right? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. And he's like, well, when I met you a couple years ago, you were like 38. And I was like, was I? And he was like, well, that's what I thought you were. And I go, okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, wait, how old are you? And I go, whatever you think. Yeah, that's what I am. Whatever you decide.
I'm going with it.
It's a state of mind.
Yeah, and as I age, as I am nearing the big 50, it is so crazy to me to think I have made it this long without a divorce. Right?
I cannot say that. Lindsay cannot say that.
And I met with two of my college roommates who are also the same age, and they are the same age without going through a divorce. And here we are, three women. Wow. Yeah.
That's good.
And it's like, okay, ladies who have never been married, there is still hope. And you are great exactly where you are. It doesn't matter what age. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing I love about playing with people, because it's like, if you're going to ask me, I'm just going to play along with whatever you think. And yesterday I was actually at the Super Bowl game and met some cutie and asked him his age, but he never asked mine. And I sure didn't give it up. Well, I didn't give up information. No, I mean, that's another show.
I didn't give it up.
That's another show. But anyway, yeah, I don't give it up unless they ask. And then I ask another question just to see what they say.
I like the idea of being playful, because if you just say your age, what do you say after that? Oh, I'm 45. Oh, okay.
Oh, I would never have guessed. Oh, you look so young. And it's like, well, what does 45 look like to you?
Like this,
right? Yeah.
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 Oh my gosh.
Okay. So Lindsay, how do you feel about giving your actual age?
I always give my actual age because I think of it as a grand adventure. You know, each birth year that comes around is one more trip around the sun. So I think about how many trips I've taken, and this is my 56th year around the sun, which is kind of cool. And I love thinking about I kind of do a reflection each year on my birthday just to say, what have been my adventures this year? So it doesn't bother me at all. I think your age is more in your head than it is on your body. And I always say it's what you think you are that is. So I feel like I'm probably one of the largest 5-year-olds too, because I generally hang out with 5-year-olds who look older but behave like 5-year-olds.
Yes.
With bubble wrap and bubbles and roller skates and art. It's all good. So I don't mind it. I love telling people my age. It really doesn't bother me one bit.
That's great. Awesome, ladies. Thank you guys for sharing. Now, you mentioned art, Lindsay, so we are going to toss it to Betsy. She has A. Betsy, what is our A word?
Well, okay, but somehow we were at ring, and I was going to talk about calling my dad because you call your mom, and my mom's in heaven, and now it turned into age, which is an A word, but then we're at A again. So
I think I did that as it was a roundabout way to get there.
R-A.
I love
R-A segments. Okay, so my A word today is going to be art. And I want to advocate that creativity is a positive piece of your life. Now, what I want to distinguish between is everyone does not have to do art or be an artist. Like a few years back, that Zentangle got really popular, and that was like a doodling art where you take a marker and you would just doodle. And I had an aunt who is significantly older than us, Aunt Susan, and she just sat down with a pen and turned into an artist because she found something that was quieting for her mind. And it wasn't just doing jigsaw puzzles, which she normally did. And she found this Zentango. Also, people have found those adult coloring books, right? Mm-hmm. And people that are not artists per se, that don't have to invent the coloring books, are noticing that by coloring with markers or pencils or whatever, it's very, very quieting for your mind and putting colors together with no end result. You don't have to frame it. You don't have to share it. It's really time for you. My story is when my teenage daughter hit 12, venom started flying from her mouth. And she said, I hate you. And I'm like, you can't hate me. I ran your Girl Scout troop. Come on. Remember that 0 water gardening class that Kathy Hawk did? Come on. And I didn't know what to do. So after 3 years of her being alone in her room screaming at me, I checked myself into an art clinic, which actually saved my life. Because I had always been a crafter and I always liked creative stuff. I've always made stuff, but I never had taken a class where somebody says, here's how you do, in this case, mixed media art. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I did it. And that choice of doing something for myself under a creative way, art, changed my life forever, because I made my first thing and my second thing and then my 38 angels and then my books and then my clothing line. And it all came off of the drama of a rejection from a teenager that sent me to do some self-caring, self-kindness, which is find something new for me to learn. And then through that, it changed my life forever. So I'm advocating to do art, wear art, color, do creative things, because I think it's good for your health. So what I want to know from you ladies is, how is art on purpose in your life? How does creativity or art or color or doing something fun help you balance who you are? And I'm going to start with Shay, because she's got on the most artsy glasses next to mine today with the hot pinks. She's got the hot pinks today, and I got the stripes today. Shay, what does the art of Shay look like?
Well, I want to start off by taking us back to when I was a kid, because you reminded me of something. My grandmother was an artist. She would travel all over Europe, take pictures, bring them back, set up her easel, and paint them. Paint the scenery of whatever she took a picture of. And then she'd set up and she'd take classes on oil painting and watercolors and all the charcoal, all the fun stuff. And then she'd set up an easel next to it for me. And I would just doodle right along with whatever she was doing. sometimes she would just take her old canvases and I would just paint over them, and it was so fun to be like bonding with my grandma like that. And then my mom and I started making angels after September 11th. And we made all these angels and we sent them to somewhere, to be quite honest. I don't even remember. It was so long ago. But we sent them somewhere where they actually gave them to the workers at Ground Zero for being the angels on ground. Yeah.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
cool.
And that created a whole like art therapy for my mom, because she then created angels and all floral arrangements, all kinds of things. And both my mom and my grandma sewed. So that's its own artwork. I designed my prom dresses both years and they sewed them. And then I became a cosmetologist, where literally the scissors was my art. The putting up the hair for weddings was my art. Makeup, it's all my art. And now what I do is I do have coloring books, but I don't do them very often, but I have highlighters of different colors of something that I'm studying. And that's how my creativity comes out. But honestly, I just think it's, seeing nature, spending time with you guys, making people laugh. That's the creativity I enjoy.
Amen, sister. Great story. I gotta know your mom. So we'll go back there later.
Yeah.
I want to do some art
and
with
grandma
her.
too.
Yeah. Yay. Okay, super fun. I think I go to Lindsay next. So Cindy will be last and then we'll go back. Okay, Lindsay.
Okay. Well, I just love being creative. So one of my super favorite things to do is to draw. And one of my very favorite ways to do art is to go to Disney World and work alongside of the animation guys and try to draw Disney characters. So no, they don't turn out as cute as the ones that you see on the big screen, but I don't care. I'm still having fun. I really enjoy that process of just turning some idea into a picture. I also really love photography. It's fun for me to take pictures of cool things and have people, places, and things that I want to remember. That is also a creative spot. And then last but certainly not least, I love cooking. And it is one form of art that I just get delighted by. It's like, ooh, I wonder what that would taste like. And then I throw stuff in and then all of a sudden I have a goulash. I don't know. So it's fun to just make things up in the kitchen and toss it all together and see what you get. So my art is super creative, out there, doesn't follow a recipe. I just make stuff up. So, and I like it.
And I can attest to your spices drawer, which is a full drawer full of spices, except for the ones I stole and put in my suitcase to go to my new house in Smyrna. Okay, I digress. Sunny, what does the art of Sunny look like?
Well, I was just thinking this morning, this doesn't have to do with me, but it has to do with my kids. I think one of the beautiful things about having younger kids is that they naturally have this interest in drawing for you, right? You see the little pictures and stuff the kids make in school. And my daughters made me little signs today for my birthday. So when I woke up, I would see like a little sign and best mom ever, happy birthday, mama. So that was the first thing that came to mind. Obviously that's my kids, not me. But I think that's a testament to, I think we're all very artistic and creative people. But like we have found in this conversation, it comes out in some different ways. And for me, I think that would be like through audio and video projects that I do, putting a story together, interviewing people, and do I use this soundbite or is it this soundbite, and what music do I put behind it? And does it need a sound effect? Things like that. I think that's probably my strength. Fun fact, when I was probably like in middle school age, I got my first mixing board, which what did that ask for a mixing board? I have no idea. I was a little strange, I have to admit, but I was also dancing. So I knew like a lot about music and what I wanted to do. Now the equipment's totally different now, but I had a physical board and you could have sound effects in it and you could mix different tracks. Not like a DJ kind of thing per se, but it was for post-production stuff. And so I would mix together, like for all the cheerleaders and the dance teams and stuff like that, I would put all of their music together and combine. I loved combining like audio from movies and adding it in as kind of the background noise over a track. Like I was doing this like super duper early, right? And then from there, it kind of led to, the video side of stuff. I'd started to add video and went to school for journalism, right? And then it became about storytelling, to, kind of put all these pieces together. And, you write it out first, and then the audio and the video come together to create the final masterpiece, if you will. So yeah, I think that's mine. It's what makes me happiest. I mean, I think about what would I do if I didn't even get paid to do it. And that's the first thing that comes to mind. I'd still be doing
the art of production. I got to tell my husband you had a mix board when you were a kid, because he's going to be super impressed with you. He's going to be like, I want to know that friend. That is super cool. Production girl.
Crazy.
Well, yay. So we've had our B, we've had our R, we've had our A, and now we're going to go to our Wow Women. I think it's Shay talking about that.
Yes. So each week, each segment, we have a woman of wonder. And it's our Wow Woman, who we just highlight someone who has done really amazing and beautiful things in the world. And we are going to highlight, even though I'd love to highlight Sunny on her birthday because she's fantastic.
Yes.
And we will celebrate her every time. I want to celebrate my good friend, Denese Duran. She is also a certified fearless living coach. She is also a co-author in the Firestarters book project of how to be a spark of hope in the midst of change. And she is just an inspiring mom and woman, and she's on the board of the Chamber of Commerce out in Brentwood, California. And she's just a beautiful spirit. And one of the things that I think is so great about her is that she's never, or I shouldn't say she hasn't, I shouldn't say never, she really didn't think that she would smart enough. And so going through the coaching program with me to watch her completely transform, and then to write a chapter in a book, and then that just really inspired her to go after a dream that she had put off her entire life. And she is, I know that she's at least 50. I'm not sure how old after that, but let's say she's at least 50, since we're talking about age earlier. She decided to go back to school and go for marriage and family counseling.
Wow, that's awesome.
And, we are certified fearless living coaches for a reason, because we were fearful of so many things and we had to learn how to step out of our comfort zone. So my question is to you guys, what would you do if fear didn't hold you back? Lindsay, I'll start with you.
Oh, I'm the worst person to ask, because the truth of the matter is I feel pretty fearless most days.
Yeah.
Fear
Awesome. Rarely
ever enters my mind. And when it does, I kind of go, well, we'll get past that too. So I guess the bottom line is I lived a very blessed life where I didn't need to experience a lot of fear to get it programmed in that it was a bad thing, right? So it is all made up. It's not really real. Most of it's an imagined future that hasn't even happened yet. So what are we thinking about it for? Like, whatever. I would say if I had a fear of anything, it would be snakes and icky things like that. Like, I would prefer not to meet with them, and I'd prefer not to have them come in my house. Right. So I think that would be my biggest fear. And I just keep asking God and universe to keep them outside and let them do what they're supposed to do out there. Like Betsy says, I love nature, just don't get it on me. I feel that way about snakes and, creepy crawly things. So there you go.
Yeah, I love it. Well, creepy crawly things is one of the top 5
yeah.
of things that people are afraid of, along with public speaking.
Yeah.
Public speaking is number 1.
That's so funny.
That
I
one
know,
isn't it?
For the people on this call.
Well, yeah, it's so funny for us who have, are on camera.
Yeah. We are speakers. Yeah.
So Betsy, what would you do if fear didn't stop you?
Well, see, I'm like Lindsay. I kind of live wild and awake. I would buy a house in Florida across the country and change up my life. Oh, did that. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't live in fear. I would say the one thing as a mom that I have to trust faith over fear is for my daughter being in a foreign country alone during COVID, with no language skill, with no roommate in downtown Milan in a big city. Like your head can explode with all the, oh my God, by watching too many of those TV crime dramas, which I refuse to watch. So I just put my trust in a huge God that, Sarah's not going to try to do anything stupid, and that we all lived through everything we lived through to this day in downtown cities on big trips alone, and all the things we lived. And so I don't create stuff that hasn't happened yet. To Shay, to your point, I don't make stuff up that has not happened yet and then get scared about it. I just believe in the good, and I have a bracelet that says faith trumps fear. So I wear that. Love it. And I always tell people, you got to pick one, faith or fear. There's only space for one. So what are you going to pick? And I always pick faith.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Because I've heard this a lot too, that, the two can't coexist.
Yep.
And so you're just pointing it out, like you got to pick one, faith or fear. I just heard the other day, like, if you're going to worry about it, then clearly you don't have the faith for it.
There you go.
And I thought, oh, okay, got it.
There you go.
So, Sunny, what about you? What would you?
Yeah. I'm going to be the broken record. I really try not to be fearful of stuff, but I will say, I mean, that's easier for me. That's easier to apply to work situations and how I lead my life in general. If I've got a big decision to make, I'll pray about it or whatever. And then that's just what I do. And that's kind of how I've always been. I'm very much about go with your gut, that's not usually wrong. Right. And if you got to think about it a lot, then you're weighing, there's other things that you're mixing in there that probably shouldn't be in there. But I will say, if I do get fearful now, it's usually something related to my kids that so Betsy, I feel you, because you kind of feel like that's out of your control. Because I feel like I'm completely in control and I can manifest what I want, but sometimes it's a leap for me to think that I can manifest something for somebody else. Right. So I want to manifest a really good day. Like the last month or so has been really challenging with my two girls. They went through kind of this whole period where there was a lot of stuff going on at school, but basically they didn't want to go to school. My one daughter did not want to go to school at all. And it was very frustrating. It was causing a lot of fights in the morning. I was like nauseous about the whole thing. The school's telling me if my kids don't go to school, they're going to fine me, blah, 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 blah. So I had all this fear that was kind of conjured up around this circumstance. Right. And then what I did is I went back, again, this went on for a while, but I talked to my girls and I said, we've got to change this. And I just kind of talked to them and talked the whole thing out, did some other things, change up their schedule a little bit to kind of get their minds working in a different way. Cause sometimes we get stuck in a rut and that kind of messes us up. And now we're over it. But I was fearful in that situation because again, school's saying this, my daughters, I'm upset because of the whole thing. So I would say if I am, it's to, not that I want to control, but I just want what's best for them. And I don't want bad things to happen. I don't want them to have to learn the hard way if they don't have to learn the hard way. So that's what I would say. If I'm fearful, sometimes it's with my kids, but I'm trying to overcome that as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that we have such a fearless crew here.
Yeah.
This
if not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. See, we're fearless.
Fearless. I love it. I love it. Well, to our audience,
you are so funny, Lindsay. You are so funny. You're sheep. Okay, sorry, it was a you joke.
Okay.
You are so EU. Are so funny.
EWE. I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Not EU as in European.
No.
Right.
Sunny, we're just scream laughing, both of us together. Look, we're all scream laughing, but she can't have this one. Okay.
I love it. So clearly, audience, we love you because we put our heart and our soul and we really think about what it is that we would love to inspire you with. And clearly all four of us are fearless individuals. And we know that we were examples just for you to go out and be fearless in your own life, to be inspired, to trust your gut, to have the faith over the fear, and to just be just to show up and know that you need to stay away from the creepy crawlies. So that's okay. That's okay too. So if you want to find us more, because let's just be honest, we would love to connect with you. Not just connect with you, we want to hear from you. You can check out our website at underwiredlive.com, and you can leave us a message. You can even leave us a voicemail on there. And we know that we're going to review it, we're going to listen to it, and we just might in the future play it in our episode. So we would love to hear from you. So feel free to connect with us on YouTube as well and watch the video if you want, because, you know, we think we're funny. I don't know if you might, but we kind of do. And we entertain ourselves. And we love to entertain you. So thank you for being here. And until next time, we will see you then.
See you again. Peace out.
I just wanna love you.